This is lesson 4-6, part 2. In this lesson, we'll learn how to complete the square, and then we'll learn how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. Here we have several expressions, and we would like to turn these expressions into perfect square trinomials by adding a constant term on the end. So we start with x squared, which is this big green square. And then the x's are these rectangles. So if we have 2x, we can put 2 rectangles over here. And then to complete the square, we're looking to fill this space right here. So we want to know how many of these little red ones does it take to fill the space. In this case, it only takes 1. So if we put a 1 here, we have now completed the square and we have a perfect square trinomial. So now in the second one, we want to put 10 x's up here and then complete the square. So as you can see, I divided the 10 in half, which is 5, and I put 5 x's on the right and 5 x's on the bottom. Now, how many little red squares do we need to complete the square? Let's find out. As you can see, it took 25 little red squares. So to complete the square, we have to add 25. Now, we don't want to have to draw a picture like this every time, so there must be a shorter way to figure it out. So what we did was we took this 10 and we divided it in half, and then we took that answer, which was 5, and squared it. Because you've got 5 on this side, 5 on this side, 5 times 5 gives us 25 red squares. So for this next one, number 3, if we take our b value and divide it in half and then square that, that should tell us what we need to complete the square. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and so that would correspond with 3 here and 3 there. And then 3 squared is 9, which is how many little squares you have there. So that's how you complete the square. Let's use it to solve an equation. So here's an equation. What we want to do is have a perfect square trinomial here on the left. So I'm going to leave some space for completing the square. So to complete the square, I take half of 10, which is 5, and then square that, which gives me 25. So I'm going to add 25 to complete the square. Anything you do on the left side of the equation, you have to do on the right side to keep it balanced. So we end up with this perfect square trinomial on the left will factor as x minus 5 quantity squared. Right side we add together and we get 30. From here we just solve by taking square roots. So square root on each side. Since 30 is not a perfect square, we can just write the answer as plus or minus root 30 instead of turning it into a decimal approximation. And then we can add 5 on each side. And we get x equals positive 5 plus or minus square root of 30.